Hi. Okay, so this is the third time I'm trying to record this due to technical difficulties. So the purpose of this video is to have an advice-seeking round for SnapProof, which is a campaign that I'm trying to propose to put under social coding on Thursday. And yeah, so I'd like your guys' advice. And but I also figured I need to give you some information about what SnapProof is and how it works. And so that's the purpose of this. I've written down some questions and I've written down answers to those questions. And I'm going to try to get through this faster than I did the other two times. So let's get into it. So here is my monitor. Here are the questions we're going to be going over. One, why is SnapProof called, why isn't SnapProof called Giveth? After all, we are trying to build a donation product here. Why would we distract ourselves by investing time or money in another? Great question. Two, what are SnapProofs? Why are they so special? Three, is there an established alternative for less cost? Great question, very practical. How is SnapProofs useful for communities on the blockchain? How is SnapProofs useful to everyone else? How will SnapProof integrate into the Giveth dApp? How can we possibly pull this off technologically, and how much will it cost? And how do we know this will work? Okay, so these are the questions I think that these are the questions that I think anyone would have, and so let's get into some of the answers. But of course, you are the judge. So let me know what you think. All right. So the first question: why isn't SnapProof called Giveth? So I'm actually going to switch to my notes over here because maybe it'll be more entertaining for you to read. Okay. So this is really two questions. Let me answer just the first question and leave the later one for you to think about on your own. Be the own judge of. So actually, I would be happy to call SnapProof Giveth if team members agree to it and want to. This could be the product that Giveth builds itself on top of. But there are three reasons to keep the products separate. One is that the donation platform, or dApp, seems to have taken the spotlight. Liquid pledging is kind of at the core of what Giveth plans to be, technologically and philosophically. And to be fair, liquid pledging could just as easily be used within SnapProof, but it's not central to the app like it is for the dApp. So that's one reason. The second and third reason is that have to do with the name Giveth. Giveth, the name, kind of implies charitable giving and Ethereum, and SnapProof can be used for any kind of payment, not just Ethereum, and it doesn't have to be used, it can be used for any type of payment, not just for giving, and SnapProof can work with any digital currency, not just Ethereum. So that would be the reason for not calling SnapProof, another reason for not calling SnapProof Giveth. Okay. What are SnapProofs? Why are they so special? Okay, so let me answer the first question here. And SnapProofs they're just links to normal web pages. For anything you would want to prove. Each SnapProof must contain 4 elements: geolocation, hashtag, QR code, and at least 5 seconds of horizontal video evidence from both the front and the rear camera of the smartphone. So let me go over here and show you maybe some picture of that. So here's the logo for SnapProof. It kind of gives you the whole story just in this picture, at least hopefully. Proof of work for humans. That's what SnapProofs are. This is a doc that I've shared before and I could share again. So this is kind of the big picture. Basically, you get this video evidence, you upload that to the cloud, you get back a link. You can send that link or post it to anywhere, and anyone who clicks on that link will go to a web player, just a regular web page with a WebView player, and that web page is going to have all this data on it. Actually, it's going to have, get rid of this thing. It's going to have all of this data on it. Let's see if I can make this smaller. Nice. Cool. And it's going to have these 4 elements: the geolocation, the hashtag, the QR code, and this is actually a playlist. So you could take one snap and add more snaps to it if you have something that you want to prove in more than just like one video. So let's say that you want to prove that you picked up a piece of trash. Maybe the first snap is the trash on the ground, and maybe the trash is too far away. You don't want to take a video of that whole thing. So you take one snap of you picking up the trash, and then one snap of you throwing away the trash. And then so this would just be a two-part playlist, and you'd have 2 points on this map indicating like where those were taken. And a blockchain address to receive funds for that. So that is what a snap proof is. Why is it so special? I'll leave that up again to you to decide. Maybe it's not. Okay, third question. Is there an established alternative we can use for less cost? Okay, so YouTube and Instagram are the closest centralized contenders, but it's against the YouTube policy to allow many people to upload video to the same channel. YouTube members are only allowed to upload video to their own channels. This means that neither Giveth or anyone else could ever use YouTube to get like contributors from around the world to upload to one spot. That's against their policy. Instagram comes a lot further. They have hashtags, they have geolocation and video, but they offer so many features that we could never depend on any consistent content from them. Instagram is really still used for pictures mostly, which are too easy to cheat to be considered as proof. And the video isn't guaranteed to be horizontal. In fact, it's mostly vertical, which might not seem like a big deal, but it really is. If you know about video experience and the different mediums of monitors, TVs, movie theaters, that sort of thing. And the last part, of course, is that Instagram doesn't include a QR code. So we could talk about this question more. It's a really good question, but in the end, the short answer is no. There is no alternative to get this experience out there that's established. Okay, next question. How is SnapProof useful to the blockchain community? And I'm just gonna read for efficiency here. So the first and obvious benefit is that all digital currencies will have a new way for their address owners to send proof of work for payment. So that's cool. But the second and even more fun thing is that I think will bring us a long way into helping startups and causes build communities, is that at its heart, SnapProof is really just a data beacon. It collects proof, sends it to a place where it can be accessed by whoever receives that prover's link. But a cool part is that if that prover includes a special hashtag related to the cause, campaign, or blockchain startup, then the backend system can provide a custom web viewer experience, which is sometimes called white labeling. So yeah, so let's see, here's the journey, the workflow, right? So if they take a video, and then the next thing they do is this hashtag, right? And so when you tag your video, you can include these hashtags so we can more easily find it. But if there's a reserved hashtag, a special hashtag like hashtag Giveth, that'll take them to a custom experience, right? So it wouldn't just be maybe like white like this. It'll be like specifically for Giveth. Maybe it'll be purple. It'll say Giveth. Instead of send funds, it'll say donate. This right here could be a campaign or a DAC or a milestone address. But then for other communities like Swarm City, you could say hashtag Swarm City, and it would take you to a specific Swarm City page. All Swarm City has to do is make a website and upload that to our GitHub, and then we can send the playlist and the data to their experience. So it'd be like yellow, and maybe it would say send funds. If it was Argon, it'd be blue, and maybe it'd say like pay employees. It's really up to them. It allows them to kind of get in on the fun. And in a sense, it makes SnapProof not just a mobile app just for Giveth or just for SnapProof itself, but it's really something that it's a mobile app for the whole community. So it's like Argon gets a mobile app for free because SnapProof is open like that. Cool. Does that answer this question? Let me go back to our notes. So yeah, imagine that you had all these other special hashtags. Oh yeah, lastly, SnapProof is open source, so anyone can just steal the code and make their own version of the app. Cool, so next question. How is SnapProof useful to everyone else? All right, so the goal of SnapProof is to provide the easiest means for anyone to get paid for proven work. So it's like the blockchain equivalent of the PayPal button, but better because it also provides evidence. So even if someone doesn't have a blockchain address, they can still use SnapProof to help causes that they want to support. The app can be used to scan any QR code. So in the journey over here, you take the hashtag and then you can scan a blockchain address, but it doesn't have to be yours. It could be Giveth's, it could be Argon's, or it could be any other project like the Red Cross. Or imagine it was hashtag P2P, which is a group that we've been working with, where not everybody is that into the blockchain. They don't necessarily all have their own addresses, but they could still take video, hashtag it with P2P, send out the link to their friends, and people could support P2P or whatever group they want, even though they don't have the blockchain address themselves. And even more than that, they don't even have to scan any blockchain address. They could just skip it altogether. And what that would mean is that it would be on us to fill in this QR code, maybe with like a snapproof.org thing to help pay video costs or whatever. But this, the point is that people, outside of the blockchain could still use Snapproof to support things, which answers that fifth question. All right, so let's move on to question number 6. How will Snapproof integrate into the Giveth dApp? Okay, so we've kind of talked about this. Any DAC campaign or milestone address can be used for that QR code. The web page web viewer can easily be opened in Status or MetaMask enabled browsers for easier donation. So that's huge. Part of the magic is that it's like the Status, and to make secure payments, you need to be looking at a web page with a specific browser, which means that it wouldn't do any good if Snapproof tried to be like this all-in-one app. Like if it was just this over here, it wouldn't work as well, because then Status could never donate to the campaigns on here. But because Snapproof really is all about getting the data and sending it to a regular web page like over here, then that's what's going to allow Status and MetaMask to work in terms of like donating. I think that's important, because imagine this page could be a Giveth campaign page, and Status can just be like, oh great, let me donate to that Giveth campaign page as you're looking at this page within the Status browser. Let's see what else. We already talked about how there's the hashtag, so all I have to do is hashtag Giveth, and it takes you to like a custom styled web page for Giveth. But even more than that, it could be like hashtag Giveth dApp or something, or to a specific campaign, and we wouldn't need to just send them to like a custom version. We could actually send them to the dApp itself. So in a sense, so it could directly integrate with the dApp. You take some proof, you send out a link. That link is a dApp link, Giveth dApp link. So that's hopefully answers how it integrates with the Giveth dApp. There's even more ways it could do integrate with the dApp, which we can talk about if you want. Lastly, the whole purpose of the Snapproof app is to be a proof of concept for provable giving. After we've learned how to make Snapproof, we can more easily make more interactive donation experiences where volunteers can easily share proof of giving. Cool. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Snapproof is the easiest way for Giveth to start incorporating geolocation and video data through the dApp. Cool. Let's move on. How can we possibly pull this off technologically? And how much will it cost? Okay, so fortunately there are 2 technologies today that give us the ability to have our own app for less than it would have ever costed in years prior. The first is React Native. This is a coding framework that allows you to more easily build native apps in both iOS and Android with only one code base, effectively cutting the cost in half, because you're kind of doing one code base and you get both the iOS and Android, which would be very expensive to make 2 separately. React Native is what Status uses, and because we use React on the dApp, we'll have a much easier time supporting the Snapproof app ourselves, or stealing code from it, borrowing things from it that we want to incorporate in our donation platform experience. The second technology is cloud services, which is what we use for the video wall. The video wall was like an experiment or proof of concept to see if this was possible, and I think it proved the case that it is possible. So this makes it so that we don't have to pay traditional server costs. Instead, we just pay for the cost of the videos that are actually seen. So this is exactly what Snapchat uses. Our goal is, of course, to move to IPFS. That's really the future, but it's going to make a lot more sense to start off with the cloud. If people see a video a lot of times, then we just pay for that video that's seen a lot. And if they never see a video, then we don't pay for videos that weren't seen. Although we do have to pay for the storage, but that's cheaper than ever. The total cost for building out the whole system will probably be around $96,000, and our goal is to raise that money from a social coding campaign. That way we don't interfere with any of the established Circle budgets. Cool. Okay, last question, finally, right? How do we know this will work? So this is really two questions in one. First is how do we know this will work technologically? And second is how do we know this will work as a product? So firstly, by design, SnapProof, the requirements were built on currently established working technologies. So React Native Cloud Services, they've been around for a little over 2 years, and they've been proven by many software operations to work. Geolocation, recording video, and scanning QR codes, those are common smartphone functions that we're just mixing together here. So the app never touches the blockchain directly, which is why we don't have to worry about the many problems that we see on the dApp or other people have to deal with. Instead, users, if they do want to see blockchain data about their address, we just use a web view to send them to a popular block explorer like Etherscan. Okay, so the second part of the question is how do we know that the product will work? Okay, so it's more of a gamble, obviously, for the first. For starters, the SnapProof is a nonprofit research project. So in a sense, it doesn't have to ever become popular. The research, it kind of is a benefit in itself. If Giveth ever wants to do geolocation or video, this is like the fastest way to get that data and to get that learning experience. But there are a couple of projects that I'll show you guys right now that kind of give us an indication that SnapProof will work. One is Literati. Cool. Literati is an app right now. You can get it on Android or the iPhone. And what they do is they allow people to pick up trash, take pictures of the trash they pick up, and hashtag it. And that is literally it. As you can see, they've already picked up 1 million pieces of trash around the world. People use this app without having any chance of like getting paid or like any sort of like recognition, and then they get this cool data. So this is like places where trash has been picked up all over the world, and this is the sort of thing that we want Giveth to have, you know, to show what's being done all over the world. And so this is an example of an app that's working like this. Apparently people do care. They do want to take proof of the giving that they do, even without, you know, any reward. And SnapProof is kind of like a blockchain version of Literati with video. So that's one inspiring project. The other one is Marco Polo. Now Marco Polo is quickly becoming like one of the most popular apps, like period. They're kind of like competing with Snapchat directly, and what they consider themselves a video walkie-talkie. So what that means is that instead of sending your friends text messages, you send them video messages and they send them back to you. And what you do is you get this like conversation, this video conversation. Each one of these squares is a playlist, a video conversation between like you and another friend that goes back and forth. And they're able to do this because they're using cloud services technology. It's completely free, and they let you take video for as long as you want, which is not something that I think we need to do for SnapProof. But to give you an idea, it's like you can see this kind of like grid view here. This is directly inspired by Marco Polo. Each one of these things is a playlist, and you just like, let's say you have a picking up trash project, a traveling project. This could be like teaching kids, and this could be like picking up trash. And maybe you just keep adding more videos to it to prove that you're doing that stuff in that area. And then that's what you're looking at when the viewer gets that link. They go to a web page and they see like a playlist of videos, and they also see the geolocations of where each snap happened, and then they can donate if they think that you did something worth donating to or sending funds for. Cool. Okay, I think that answers all the questions. Wow, record timing. Okay, so again, the purpose of this was really to it's the advice around seek advice. So hopefully this gives you information on all these 8 questions. And yeah, let me know. Let me switch over here. Yeah, let me know, what you think. And if there's anything that I can do to improve this, or yeah, how you think I should communicate this, or how the campaign could look. Again, it's going to be under social coding. Yeah, thanks again.